Okay.
I have plenty of family members that
Okay.
are not accredited that I can provide some advice to.
Okay, so let's provide that advice. What would you advise them? Let's say the next
Well-
5 years they wanted to put a little money to work and maybe change their lot in life. They're 30 years old or they're 50 years old, 30, 40, or 50. What would you advise them? They have a decent job. They're not going to go out of business anytime soon. They've got, 6 months of buffer. They're not going to, go bankrupt. There's no chance of that. And they have some nest egg for retirement going.
Well, I agree with what you said, Jason. I think now that this asset class has been opened up to more people, people should not be just investing in stocks and bonds. They should absolutely be allocating a certain percentage of their overall portfolios into alternative assets. And for the family member who, let's say, is accredited barely and has $1 million that they're going to invest, I would say put 5% of your overall savings into venture capital, into startup investments. So that's $50,000, and I would put it into 25 companies. So just like the stock market, but even more importantly with startups, it's so critical that you diversify not only a small percentage of your overall savings, but take that piece and invest a little bit into different companies, because we all know that any individual startup investment is risky. But if you diversify into a basket of startups, you can really bring down that risk. So I would say $50,000 into startups, put it into 25 startups, so $2,000 per company. The reality is, if you look at venture capital early stage returns over the last 30 years, Cambridge has great data on it. They've returned about 23% per year over the last 30 years, compared to 10% for the S&P 500 and just 5% for bonds. So although the individual startup is definitely riskier, if you do this with your eyes wide open, I think it's a prudent thing for any investor to do.
Now, what if you had somebody who was a little bit younger and they said, listen, I want to go for it. I have, $250,000 I got in my inheritance, or I have a $200,000 a year job, and I don't have an extra $20K laying around at the end of the year. I don't want to rent a house in the Hamptons. I want to work in August, and I want to put this $20,000 a year to work for the next 10 years. I want to put $200,000 to work in startups. Would you think that person is crazy, or that they're making a good life choice?
The most important thing from my standpoint is making sure that that person is making an educated decision. It's ultimately their decision. But as long as they understand that they need to take that money and diversify into multiple startups, so do not put all your money in one company, because you're probably going to lose it.
Yeah.
Diversify into multiple startups. Understand that this is not an investment asset class where you can just turn around and sell your stock the next day. You might be on the hold. You might be holding it for 7 to 10 years. So make sure you don't need it in 2 years later. Then then as long as they're educated, I'm fine with it. But diversification is important, and there is less liquidity.
Let me take a moment to thank Squarespace for, first of all, making amazing software. I was just working on one of the new projects I'm working on. You may have heard of television show. And we had to make a website, and I just went on to Google Domains, and I was buying a domain over at Google Domains, and boom, you can just, when you're setting up your Gmail, fire up and launch Squarespace. I guess they're partners now. And I was able to fire up a gorgeous website in literally minutes, and it looked like we spent $25,000 making it. It looks professional. It's intuitive and easy to use. No coding is required. And they use state-of-the-art tech. It's super secure. It's super stable, and it's trusted by millions, some of the most respected brands in the world. We, in fact, use it for all of our events and conferences, and you can start your free trial today. No credit card is required. And you'll get a free domain name if you sign up for a year. I'm an idiot. I did it wrong. I signed up at the wrong domain place. I didn't know that I would get a free domain. I got to go back and do that next time. If you decide to sign up for Squarespace, if you do decide that you're going to sign up for Squarespace, which I'm sure you will, just use the promo code TWIST and you'll get 10% off your first purchase. It is an amazing, amazing product. It's super easy to use, and they keep adding features to it, which is one of the great things about the software as a service movement. They keep getting more people loyal to the product. They keep being able to hire more product managers, developers, and researchers to figure out what to make next. And boom, they make amazing product, and they keep the price the same. So things are getting better and better over there at Squarespace. I love the product. Go ahead and follow at Squarespace.